You know, everybody's got a to-do list. Drop off the dry cleaning, pick up some milk. Here's an idea. Let's save hundreds of dollars on car insurance. And the good thing is you don't have to drop off or pick up anything. All you have to do is go to geico.com, and in 15 minutes you could be saving 15% or more on car insurance. Extra money in your pocket. It just may be the most rewarding to-do you do today.
Now Podcast One brings you Spike's Car Radio. A downloadable cars and coffee, hosted by writer, comedian, and automotive enthusiast, Spike Ferriston. Now, here's Spike.
Well said. Hey, everybody. It's a soft start today, Zuckerman. You
Why?
like that? I usually go, hey, everybody. It's Spike's Car Radio.
Well, you gotta
The
get
lights
excited.
feel weird in here, though. What's going on with the lights? What did Wasser do with the lights here? Let's,
It's female
hold on.
lighting.
I'm going to get up. You talk for a second.
Well, Ferriston, you know, we're here. We're here today, and we're here to talk. Stop blinding me.
Wait,
God.
yeah, there we go. There's our lights.
Is that our lights? I don't even think that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
I think it's
No,
too
we
soft.
like it. I like it nice and dark.
Well, hello, everybody. It's Spike's Car Radio. We're here to bring you a fantastic story about coffee, cars, and whatever else we're doing.
Do you see what would happen?
It would
if
fall apart
If it
in a
was
second.
Zuckerman's Car Radio.
Yeah. And everybody said, to everybody who said I'm the star of the show, you just heard I am not.
It's hard, right? Because you have to be an exaggerated version of yourself, but not too exaggerated. But you would zero in on it pretty quickly.
I don't know about that.
I think
couldn't
you
do
would have
it.
been a very gifted stand-up comedian, Zuckerman. Well, anyways, welcome to the show, everybody. How are you doing? This is Spike's Car Radio. We've got a great show for you today. We've got Laura Wasser, who's got a new podcast here called Divorce Sucks, Zuckerman. I have lots of questions for Laura.
I've got $1 billion idea for her, too.
Okay, we'll bring that up when she
Yes,
comes
when
in.
she's here.
She's not just a guest. She's my friend and former neighbor. Anyway, let's talk about cars real quick. There's some stuff I want to get through. First and foremost, Zuckerman, let's do an ad for our 8x16 Porsche 87 911 wheel.
Somebody needs to buy that wheel.
I think I forgot that it was still at Wheel Enhancement, and I called them the other day. They said it's still there. Some guy had bought two. He wasn't sure. It might still be there, actually. But if you want a brand new 8x16 1987 Porsche 911 wheel that was on our 87 for a short time before Wheel Enhancement repaired it, you should go to Wheel Enhancement. Call them 310-836-8908. I think this would make a perfect Christmas gift coffee table. You put a piece of glass over it, and you say, you know whose wheel this is? It's Spike and Zuckerman's wheel from their 87.
And they say it's a good start. It's a good start on getting a car.
Are you eyeing anything that's going on at the Peterson Auto Museum auction?
Yes,
that's
I
coming
am,
up for
in fact.
R.M. Sotheby's?
In fact, I am. But
Well,
not what you would
let's
think.
set up the auction first. Now, this isn't just Porsches, right? There's a lot of great stuff and memorabilia there too, right? I would bet you have your eye on some of this memorabilia.
Exactly, and I don't know if I want to talk about it if this is going to air.
Yes, it will air before this.
Well,
So this auction is December 8th at the Peterson Auto Museum, a place that we love and support. They have Lamborghinis, Porsches, Aston Martins, a lot of memorabilia. Here are a couple things that caught my attention quickly, because lot 130 immediately caught my attention. Steve McQueen, Beverly Hills Hotel suite keys, and it's got a lovely little keychain there with a crest of the Beverly Hills Hotel on it, and then it says room 320 or 220. I can't make it out. The estimate, Zuckerman?
I believe that estimate's really high. I remember thinking that was a fantastical thousands of dollars number, right? It was like 25 or 2,500.
It's 1,500. This is the estimate, 1,500 to 2,500.
How do you know it's his?
And the only description here is the well-used key to Steve McQueen's suite at the Beverly Hills Hotel. So I'm guessing it's also got a, Ralph Thomas suite. And a lot of other people use this suite.
It must
Were
have
you
been.
even aware of this suite?
I wasn't aware of the suite, but you saw the other day that somebody I know came up with something called a courtesy card. If you were a bigwig at the hotel in the 60s, they gave you a special card that said courtesy card on top.
Right,
And then it had your name, like maybe Steve McQueen, and it entitled you to extra good treatment at that hotel, on top of just being Steve
Please,
McQueen.
Take 2 waters and an extra chocolate on your pillow. By the way, I just came back from Hawaii, and I learned something. I learned when you say, uka ulu awa usu awahata awa. That means everybody in Hawaii hates Zuckerman.
That was my favorite. That was my favorite.
That's what I said. Please teach me how to say that in Hawaiian. And that's how you say it.
Right. And
but I, the reason it just came up is I laid in chocolate in my hotel bed watching Narcos. I mean, could you think of a better vacation evening than that? I'm in Hawaii. I've been snorkeling all day. The kids are driving me nuts, but it's just beautiful there. And I turn on Narcos at 9 o'clock, watch a couple episodes, and I'm eating not even the good chocolate, peanut M&Ms. That's what I abuse in the hotel room.
You didn't get those? What are those nuts they have there?
They have they had macadamia and turtle nuts and the rest of it. Not as good as the peanut M&M. And I didn't notice until the morning that I had. Didn't we talk about this with Jerry? I had laid in the chocolate.
Well, he had the joke that he told.
Right.
What was that bit about the drunken Irish comedian who went back to his room and passed out on the bed on the chocolate?
He shit the bed.
He thought he shit the bed in the morning.
Yeah, that's what that happened to me. It happened to me. So the next morning, as I was deciding what to leave for a tip for the maid, I looked over at the bed. I went, "Oh no!" and gave her an extra 20. I had to because it looked like I had. Yeah.
You didn't lettuce, E.
Weirdly,
coli lettuce.
On the upper part of the bed, on the pillow.
Scatman Ferriston. I'm going to tell you something about peanut M&Ms because you like these.
Okay.
We got a bulk bag for Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
They are no longer made the way they used to be made. The uniformity and the quality of peanut M&Ms, I honestly, these must be made in some fifth world country because if you were to look at this bag, the oddness of the shapes and sizes and quality, it's so not what we were used to as kids.
I had a double nut, a weird turmeric
right, exactly.
One,
and I was
I liked it. It was a green one. I remember it. I have a specific memory of it.
I've been eating M&Ms in 5 or 6 different decades at this point. And I'm bothered that they are not the way they used to be. So much so that I went online and I Googled declining quality of peanut M&Ms. And
people are talking about it.
People are talking about it.
Yeah, why not? Because we're all addicted to this stuff. You know what I do? I put mine in the freezer. And then I put them in a water glass. And I bring them in front of the television, cold.
How's that for your molars?
I don't care.
At this point.
Yeah, I don't care.
You'll be telling jokes without teeth.
It's a quick sprint to the grave, Zuckerman, from where we're at right now. It's almost over.
Thank you.
But I noticed in Hawaii, the M&M quality from the freezer in my room to the Narcos bed, they were sticky. Like I was getting green and red on my fingers, and I didn't like that. And you're telling me that they don't have this uniform build anymore. And you're right,
because they are not made in the Hershey's factory.
Where are they made?
They're made in third. Okay, Costco, Walmart has demanded a price point that is below what they can be manufactured for in the United States of America. Henceforth, they are being made in third-party factories in fifth world countries, and we're getting schlock. Schlock M&Ms.
Where is the best place for an M&M to be made?
Do you know that?
I don't know. This sounds like a weird conspiracy theory. You're saying that it's cheaper to make an M&M in China or in Vietnam rather than in Pennsylvania?
And here's a new thing. We also got the Halloween bags.
It says right here they're made in New Jersey and
Tennessee.
They're
not made. Nope.
That sounds like my crazy grandmother, the way she... Nope.
And I'm going to tell you something, too.
Trump didn't do it. We got
the big fun bag with, the giant bag.
You got to rake the forest. Nope. All they had to do was rake that forest. It would have been, M&Ms. They're made in Vietnam, right? In Africa.
I'm collecting a new thing, a new species of peanut M&Ms. The little mini bags that are supposed to have like 10 or 15.
Yeah.
I've got a whole bunch that just have one in them.
Ooh.
I'm saving the one. I'm going to bring you a one bag.
That reminds me of the guy sleeping on his wooden floors with the jars of urine, just eating oranges.
I thought that was Howard Hughes.
It's a hoarding thing. Anyway, let's get back to this auction. Lot 133, Steve McQueen's mailbox, 980 East Santa Clara. Now that house, I remember John and I, my business partner, we almost bought that house. The mailbox. Can you imagine? I was like...
You would have gotten the house and said, where's my goddamn
my mailbox? Long before the Steve McQueen madness was happening, we were obsessed with Steve McQueen, and this house went up for sale, and we went up to look at it. We drove an hour and a half north of L.A. somewhere. and checked out this house. I remember, notably, it was right next to like a little driving range par 3 golf course. And we looked at the house, and it was, it wasn't worth $1.5 million in the middle of nowhere back then. But we went to have lunch at this little golf course, and we met all of Steve McQueen's old buddies. These old guys who just sit in this driving range with no business, this par 3, just sitting at the bar drinking all day. And we walked in. It was like that, wet country, that Western scene where the guy walks,
strangers,
like Scruggs in his white suit. Remember, I watched the Netflix Scruggs thing last night. And they were like, "What are you guys doing here?" And we're checking out Steve McQueen's place. And they immediately just started telling us stories about Steve, about that last stage of life, about the chickens and everything else he kept there. And he used to come here and drink all day. and it was really nice. And now I kind of regret that I didn't buy that house.
There was a guy that was, you were a very early admirer of Steve McQueen. You knew that this was going to happen, but there was a guy before you. And his name is Brucker. Last name is Brucker. And he's the guy that owns all the stuff that's coming to auction.
Really?
And the guy who does Outlaw Archive can tell you all sorts about the Brucker family and what they have collected over the years. Wow. Giant collectors of all sorts of stuff.
Well, there's some cool stuff here. I'm trying to look for cars. Hold on. Before we go, there's a nice Miura. You're not going to buy a car, are you?
Oh, I'm so done.
You said that 2 cars ago, dude.
I know.
Look, listen to my voice. It's going again. I just lost my voice.
Are you speaking through your phlegm?
It's not phlegm. It's this coffee that I'm drinking.
It's the quick. Do you have dairy in there?
I put a little cinnamon in there. It's an Americano.
So you have.
And there's a little half and half in there.
There you go. There's your phlegm.
You think that's phlegm?
Yes, that's phlegm.
Well, look, it just went away.
Right. It hides when you talk about it, like cockroaches.
Look at these Von Dutch cartoons that he's drawn here. Did you see Big Butts and Pull Out Slowly by Von Dutch?
Of course.
Lot number 143. I never took to that stuff. I don't get it.
No, that's goofy. It's Mad Magazine. It's adolescent-y. It's weird. But there are a couple of cool items in that Von Dutch category.
Right. There are. Here, of very big interest to me is Lot 173 and Lot 174. 1970 Honda Z50A Monkey.
I knew you'd say that.
And even better, the 86 Z50R Monkey with, oh my God, that logo.
Let's get both of those.
Well, we've just now announced it. Do you think we should absolutely get that? Here's what I think we should do. And then we're going to take a break, and then we're going to bring out Laura Wasser. I think we get these monkeys. I think we stuff ourselves with peanut M&Ms until we turn into the fat twins from the Guinness Book.
And then we
ride these mini
the monkeys.
And we just ride these monkeys around town.
We just do the theme song to the monkeys.
All right, we're going to be right back with more Spikes.
Phlegm Radio.
Phlegm Radio.
Phlegm.
Think of all the weird things found in cars, and I'm not talking about your garden variety petrified French fries or melted crayons. For me, it's crumbs. But I'm talking about live snakes, bizarre trinkets, the kind of stuff that just makes you wonder about, folks. Another thing that'll make you wonder, but in a good way, are Continental belts. Bet you didn't know they're OE in tens of millions of Chrysler, Dodge, Ford, and GM vehicles that roll off the assembly line. They're also OE on the majority of BMWs and VWs. Now Continental is launching the aftermarket multi-V belt with the OE pedigree. It's their OE technology series. Belts that are fanatically engineered for the perfect fit, form, and function. And Continental has an OE technology series multi-V belt for 90% of vehicles on the road in the U.S. and Canada. Hey, you get enough surprises working on cars and trucks. A belt should not be one of them. Go with the Continental OE Technology Series Multi-V Belt, the belt with the OE pedigree. To get the full story, visit oetechnologyseries.com.
You're listening to Spike's Car Radio.
At my firm.
Smithers.
Bye. Welcome back to Spike's Car Radio. We're here with Laura Wasser, whose new podcast is Divorce Sucks, here at Podcast One. Does divorce suck, Laura?
It does suck. It sucks.
It does?
Yeah.
Are you divorced?
Well, I got divorced in 1993 after being married for 14 months. So it was hardly even a divorce. We didn't have any kids. I like to say we had some credit card debt and a dog. And I got both.
And then since then, you've decided, I'm never getting married again, right?
No, I didn't decide that. I just kind of, it never really, I think everybody should get married at least once, particularly women, because it's like so cool to have the dress and the flowers, you're like a princess.
Right.
And I was 25. Like, I'm never going to be able to look that good again. So, yeah, no, I didn't see the necessity of it in any of my subsequent relationships.
Do you see any correlation between age and marriage these days? You see so many divorces. And by the way, it's not just, do you handle anybody that's not a celebrity? Because whenever I see you or hear about you, I know we were neighbors for a long time, but I always see you on TMZ under the title The Disso Queen.
Right.
Angelina Jolie. The names, Kim Kardashian. I forgot that she was married before.
Yes.
Britney Spears, Mariah Carey, Ryan Reynolds, Heidi Klum. These are all people. Amber Heard or Johnny Depp? Which side were you on?
The good side, Johnny Depp.
Oh, you were on the good side.
Smart, good looks, gift for gab. She's got that market cornered.
I would guess that people are terrified when they hear that Laura Wasser is representing their...
You know me,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Am I terrifying?
No. As a friend, as a
No?
person you see, as a neighbor, absolutely not. But
my whole thing is trying to make it easier. I'm not going to make people get divorced. By the time they come to me, and again, most of those people and my other clients, which you don't hear about because why would you? But yes, we represent, there's 20 members of our firm. We represent plenty of people who aren't famous. But you don't hear about them because they're not famous. But our whole thing, both at the firm and with It's Over Easy, which is the website and online divorce platform that I started earlier this year, is making it easier for people, changing the face of divorce in this country because it's still being done in a very antiquated way, and I can't imagine that that's good for our kids, and I know it's not good for us. We spend too much money on it. We spend too much toxic energy on it. Not saying people should get divorced, but if things aren't working out and that's the path you're taking, we can do it better than how we've been doing it for the last however many years in this country.
Okay,
Brutal.
Here's the question. How do my listeners hide their cars from the person they're divorcing? And I'm being serious. Is there a way?
Their cars?
Now, I've never been divorced.
Right.
I don't know much about it.
I know your wife. We've had her on
Yes,
my podcast.
that's
I
right.
don't,
Now,
I
by the
don't
way,
recommend you getting divorced.
Do I have to ask you right now? Do I have to retain you right now so that if in the future, now I love my wife and I believe she loves me, but
she does love you, but she did retain me when she was in last month. So I'm taken. There's a conflict.
Is there a way for me to ask you to represent me so that she could never, if she ever approached you?
No, because I don't represent friends or
you don't?
people who kids go to school with my
Oh,
kids.
fantastic.
No,
well, that's all I needed to know. Okay,
I've had many friends in my office together trying to either figure out if they could work it out or if they couldn't, getting them with good mediators, because that's what I believe in.
The whole time, Zuckerman just collecting the money while they sit there and work out their stuff together. Isn't that great? You know, Mr. Zuckerman has got a personal injury firm.
I think I'm one rung on the food chain beneath you.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you were above us.
No.
We like to think that, but come on, I don't know.
I don't know.
I feel like Laura is one rung above
I would
you.
say so because we're
At
really
least
in
one.
He's an animal. I mean,
we're in the monkey cage and we're throwing poops all over the place. It's
There's no poop throwing.
yeah, no poop throwing at her firm. But
No. But you guys would never intersect in what
We
you
haven't,
do. Tell
which
us
is
what's the name of
surprising.
your firm? It's Zuckerman and
It's Carpenter, Zuckerman, and Rowley. And
so yeah.
we're one of the bigger PI trial firms out there.
But that's a completely separate thing.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Once in a
Sometimes-
while, PI crosses over with some torts, which involve, I would say,
I love
herpes.
torts. They're
Herpes,
delicious.
Yeah.
What do you
Not
mean?
that kind of a tort.
Oh, herpes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
an unwanted touching.
It's
Oh,
unwanted
really?
touching. In
See, I
fact,
wanted
we've
this-
had that. We've had those.
Yeah.
This is what I wanted to get into. But
Herpes?
Yeah, no, seriously. I want to know what you can say. And I have so many questions about divorce. And I asked one, you didn't answer it yet, but I want to hear, is there any correlation with age? You said you got married very early. Do you notice in your business that people who got married earlier in their 20s divorce more than people in their 30s and 40s?
Yes, because when you're younger, you haven't quite become who you're going to be yet. And I spent a lot of time researching issues incident to divorce, and what we are seeing a lot of is statistics talking about millennial divorces being down. The reason for that is that millennials wait before before they get married until they're a little bit older. They're living together. They're having kids together. They don't necessarily feel that it's necessary to tie the knot and make the state the entity that gets to make decisions about how you conduct your relationship, financially at least.
That's good. All right, now cars.
Okay,
All right.
cars.
So
I don't know how you're going to hide a car. So does your spouse never know you got the car in the first place?
No. Say you're one of our guys or a woman listening. Right. I'm not going to say it's men. It could be anybody. You have a collection of cars, but only one part of that couple is really into cars, and now you're getting divorced. Now, maybe I'm just wrong, but I've always heard now you have to sell all the cars and give half the money. How do our listeners keep those cars?
Okay, so if the car, here's how you keep the cars. Make a shitload of money. Because if you have enough money, then the cars can go on your side, and your spouse that doesn't get the cars gets an equal value. There's another thing that you could do, which is during the marriage, as you're purchasing these cars, you have your spouse sign something saying, this car is a gift to Spike from the community. So although it was purchased with community dollars, this is a gift. And then if you ever split up, that goes on your column without having to have any equalization. And maybe you got to buy a watch or a bracelet or, a Birkin bag on the other side, but that's how you make sure you keep
You have
the
a little
cars.
tear-off sheet next to the pillow mints and say, honey, right with the pillow talk, you just say,
but
sign here.
Assuming that everybody's getting along.
Yes.
Right?
But she can't force you to sell the cars. If you want a community property asset, an asset that was purchased with community funds,
you just ask for it.
You take it, and then she gets the equal value.
Got it. All right. What is the record number of divorces for one of your clients? You don't have to say who it is.
Oh, I'll say who it is because he's no longer with us. But Tony Curtis. Tony Curtis. What?
Was he 7?
I think he was 7. Again, I only did the last couple. He was actually at my bat mitzvah. He was like an annuity, this guy. He got married so many times. I don't think he had as many as, what's her name, Liz Taylor, who we did not represent. But Tony Curtis was the record number.
Wow.
Well, Liz had the record for marrying the same guy most times. I think it was 3 with Richard Burton.
Yes.
And was it easy at that point? Did you just
for him?
No, for you. Did you just go, here, sign the paper, just sign this? We've done this 7 times before.
It's always different. It's always a different set of circumstances, a different set
Emotions.
of assets.
All right, because he's not here, can you tell us why?
Why he got divorced?
Yeah.
No, I don't know. Who knows why? I mean,
What are some of the stranger reasons you've heard for people getting divorced? Because I remember reading about Ernest Borgnine when he was married to Ethel Merman. Right, and in his divorce filing,
smelled like chlorine.
Yes.
No, it was the Dutch oven treatment that he would hold her head under the sheets and then pass wind, and it was
you realize back
in Dutch oven.
In those days, you had to have a reason to divorce.
Yes. Now you can just have irreconcilable.
And she couldn't come up with anything better than he farts under the sheets.
And wait, it's okay to fart under the sheets. Just don't hold the other person's head under there.
There's
like a big chasm between
things. And if you think I'm lying, Google this right now and read this. You can read that, and it made me love Ernest Borgnine a little more than it was holding Ethel Merman's head under the sheets. It made him
she
really...
could hold her breath. She proved that in the swimming pool.
What's her problem?
She thinks everything's coming. Oh, Ernest, no, not roses. I'm divorcing you. But it couldn't have been the reason. What are the reasons you hear that make you raise an eyebrow? Or do you even these days?
I do. I hear, well, of course, you've been doing it for 25 years. I have to get I need to know a little bit. So I do ask. And also one of the reasons I've been able to do this for 25 years is because I find it a fascinating study in human nature. So it's not just the facts, whatever. I want to know. And my father's been doing it for even longer. I think he's been doing it now for 51 years. And he really wants to know all the details. I mean, if there's sex tapes, Dennis Wasser has got to see the sex tapes. Yeah. I need to see the sex tapes first. Like, I need to see the sex tapes.
Why would a sex tape come out in a divorce?
Because it was not with your spouse.
Or even if it was. Sometimes they have them and they're kind of using them as a bargaining chip. I don't ever want to see a sex tape. My dad always wants to see the sex tapes.
That is very funny.
And they may not always come out in divorce, but if they're there, he'll get them.
Do sex tapes come up a lot? And is Zuckerman right? Is it some other party that they've hired a private investigator and they've tracked them down?
Again, California, no fault state. Doesn't matter, but people still got those sex tapes.
They want to know.
There's usually an emotional reason. There's an emotional basis. And that's what makes Laura's... She's at the intersection of greed and misery, just like I am. And this is why I say the 7 deadly sins are my original touchstone for understanding what's happening with my clients. And I'm a student of human nature too, which keeps it fun. And you want to see what variations of greed, gluttony, sloth, envy, and all those things are being played out in front of your eyes.
Yes.
Are there some sex tapes out there that just blew your mind when you're just like, well, wait, what? I bet there's so much stuff that you know.
There's lots that I know.
Oh, my
that is
God.
of no relevance whatsoever to anybody's
Lust.
divorce, but they tell me things.
Right.
And, again, luckily for most of my clients, I'm very self-absorbed, so it usually goes in one ear and out the other. It doesn't factor in. I try not to make it a part of the negotiation because it doesn't really matter. For the most part, people split up because they grow apart. Mm-hmm. If there was cheating, if there was gambling, if there was a huge drug problem that led to like a big chunk of community funds being kind of snorted away, that is usually, those are symptoms of some other problem, lack of communication or whatever. Right. Once in a while, somebody will be going down the path perfectly happy, everything's fine, and then they just fall madly in love with somebody else. But for the most part, things have started to die. Communication is broken down. People aren't evolving at the same rate, and so people go in different directions. We don't take good enough care of our marital or if you're just cohabiting with someone, we don't take good enough care of our relationships. We don't check in enough. We don't work out enough. As we all work out in Southern California, we go to the gym. We make sure we look great. We get the treatments and everything else. But when it comes to actually checking in with our spouse, having date nights, having regular sex appointments with each other, having therapy.
Would you talk to Erica about that for me?
I told Erica, sex begets sex. If you don't have sex for a long time, you're not going to want sex. But once you start having sex again, then you really want sex.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I like the sound of this. Oh, okay.
And it's going to work out just fine. What about, do you have people that just leave the office and go, you know what, we changed our mind, it gets too real?
Yeah. I have tons of people that come in for one consultation.
Right.
And they go, look, you're lovely, but you just scared the shit out of me. I'm just going to stay married.
I
can't do this.
And this is where my $1 billion idea comes in.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Here's a pitch.
Divorce concierge as part of your services.
Now, what does that mean, Zuckerman?
It means that because people come in and they don't know what the fuck is going to happen to them, and they're frightened. And I figure if they're frightened, they're going to torment their lawyer. And the last thing the lawyer needs to deal with is the frightened, emotional client. The lawyer just wants to do business. They don't want to be a psychologist. They don't want to be a babysitter. They have a coach that's there, a concierge that deals with the emotional aspects of the person and maybe teaches them how to live a separate life happily and at the same time do things that makes the soon-to-be
I think that's what her whole website
kind of is. Funny you should mention that. It was a perfect lead-in to my pitch for It's Over Easy. What we have on there is something called the Index. So the Index provides an array of curated support providers, whether it's divorce coaches, whether it's people that can help you set up a new room for your kid because you're moving out of the primary residence, whether it's somebody that helps you get back into dating again.
I've been talking about this for years.
Your teeth need whitening. You need a spray tan so you can get back out there.
How to put out a plate of
Financial
cheese.
planner. How to put out a plate of cheese.
Did people not know how to get back into dating or
No.
their teeth whitened or
People
anything?
spouses.
Or they just don't know how to find the right thing. I mean, imagine you've been married for all these years, and now you got to get back out there again. I don't know about you. I never did online dating. I don't know how to create a profile. A couple of weeks ago, Jay Moore showed me his profile. And I was like, dude, that is a horrible picture of your hands.
Where's Jay doing some online dating?
Everywhere.
He is?
Yeah, he's out.
Grindr.
He even said he checked out Grindr and then he backed off it. But like, we don't know how to do that stuff. So It's Over Easy has the
She's
index.
got my idea. You stole my idea.
She's been working on this for a while.
Yes.
Right.
Zuckerman.
Well, because I really want to make it more. I mean, look.
Is the site up and running now?
Oh yeah, it's overeasy.com.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Overeasy.com.
We've got the index. We've got the platform so that couples
And what does it cost?
on.
And how does it work?
$750, $1,500, $2,500, depending on what kind of a package you buy, just for the divorce part. The rest of it's free. Come on, you can look at the index. We've got a huge blog. Another thing about this is information. You're right. People come in, they don't know everything. When I do a consultation, I say, I'm going to give you my divorce 101. Here's what's going to happen. Here's what custody is. Here's what division of assets. But on our blog, we've got articles so you can say, this is what I should read about how I should talk to my kids if I'm going to get divorced. This is a good way to figure out a parenting plan. This is what I'm going through with telling my elderly parents who live somewhere else. How do I tell them that this is happening? All of these things. So there's tons of content. There's the actual platform so you can go through it. You don't have to pay attorneys. You guys do it on your own. We give you the tools and the information you need. You guys figure it out yourselves. And then there's also the index that gives you all of these different people that can help you out getting through it.
I love it.
I hope it's $1 billion
idea. And
idea.
she is executing. This is so smart because I knew a guy who is in a miserable marriage, and I said, "Why don't you get divorced?" He says, "I don't know how to do it. I don't know what's going to happen." And I start to hear stories as I get older. I hear about people getting divorced, and I hear, for example, the wife saying, he sends home the kid. There's no food. The clothes are dirty. The little lunch thing is not cleaned out. And I think, how easy would it be? How much money and heartache would be saved if he cleaned the clothes and he cleaned the little food trays and whatever the kid goes with in the backpack and a little note in there that says, "Tell your mommy how much I appreciate how she takes care of you. Save $1 billion. Save so much money.
So much
Take
money.
that idea from me."
Yes.
It's yours.
Lunch
It's
cleaner
all yours.
out guy.
All
Yeah.
right. We will be right back with more Spike's Car Radio after this. You know what I hate? Spending a lot of time on tasks and problems that can only take a few minutes. And if you're a contact lens wearer, lucky for you, I've discovered Simple Contacts. Let's be real. It's pretty annoying to have to get a new prescription every year just to buy contacts. It's time-consuming, and most of the time, our prescription doesn't even change. Plus, you're always running out of lenses when you need them most, right before you get on a jet. What? No lenses? Come on. Simple Contacts is changing all this by using technology to make renewing your prescription and buying contacts super simple. Here's how it works. Using your phone, or computer for that matter, you can take the Simple Contacts vision test in 5 minutes. All you have to do is be sitting on your couch or in your office. You could take this test in an airport as long as you got your phone. Then a real doctor reviews your test within 24 hours, and if your vision hasn't changed, writes you a new prescription. Boom, you've got a fresh supply of your favorite brand of lenses, and they're on the way to your door. My producer, Will, the guy behind the glass there, walked me through it, and he uses Simple Contacts, and he has vouched many times for how awesome they are, how simple the process is. In just a few short minutes and in the comfort of his home, he's renewing his prescription and his lenses, and suddenly they're in the mail to him. No appointments, no waiting rooms, no weird old ladies who said they were there before you even though they weren't. It saves him time and money, the two things my co-host Zuckerman covers most. Time. But mostly money, I'll be honest. Simple Contacts offers every brand of lenses at amazing prices. The prescription is just $20. The contact lenses are unbeatable. There are never any hidden fees, and shipping is free. Best of all, my listeners get $20 off their first Simple Contacts order. Right now, get $20 off your contacts at simplecontacts.com/Spike and enter code Spike at checkout. I do want to mention, however, that this isn't a replacement for your periodic full eye health exam. You still need those occasionally, but it is the most convenient way to renew a prescription and reorder your contacts if your vision has not changed. Again, check out Simple Contacts and get $20 off your contacts at simplecontacts.com/Spike and enter code Spike at the checkout. Give it a try. Thank me later. Thank me on the street if you would.
You're listening to Spike's Car Radio.
All right, welcome back, Spike's Car Radio. You don't have to wear the headphones, Laura. You don't have to do that. It's
My
less
hair
personal.
looks better without them, yeah.
What's that?
My hair looks better with no
Totally
headphones.
looks better. Tell us about the podcast, because we haven't discussed that. I've noticed you've had some pretty big names on there.
Yes. Well,
Tell me some of the. How many shows have you done so far?
8, 9?
8.
I'm not sure.
And Chelsea Handler was on.
Chelsea
Kim
was
Kardashian. Chelsea's not
Kim.
divorced, right?
Chelsea's not divorced. It's not just about divorce. It's about how we look at relationships, how we look at, Chelsea was talking about, just her dating history and how that's gone, why she hasn't gotten
She's written
married.
books about that.
Yes. We also had her on right before the midterms, so she was talking about that. And then we had, or maybe it was right after the midterms. In any event, we had Kris Jenner, not Kim Kardashian.
Right.
We had Jay, as you know.
Jay
in
Moore, right.
January.
Kris Jenner's a tough get. She's tough.
Well, I've done a lot with their family, so I think she felt. Look, here's the thing: anybody that we kind of explain it to, Ben Affleck and Anna Faris, our clients who are coming on in January, anybody who's been through the process and wants to kind of talk to others, maybe people that they could have influence over about how they went through this journey and how it's how to do it the right way, which both Anna and Ben did, and figure out how to convey this message. That's what it's all about.
Well, you say Johnny Depp and Ben Affleck, those are two tough sides of the divorce to manage, you know, from the outside looking in.
Yes.
It looks like it's pretty tricky. Kim Kardashian, I thought yesterday I saw somewhere on the internet said on her show that she was married high on ecstasy the first time she got married.
Well, that makes sense because that was a weird pairing. It took much longer to get them divorced than they ever even dated.
Yesterday,
days of marriage.
Somewhere I read this that the 2 times she doesn't drink, but the 2 times she was high on ecstasy, the first time she got married and the second time she made the sex tape.
I think
Ray
the first
J.
time she did the sex tape came before the marriage.
Oh, yeah. Well, there you go. And it was both times on ecstasy. And she was I don't know. And she said, I don't know. Weird things just happen to me when I'm on ecstasy.
That's because drugs.
Drugs. But good Lord. Where was I on that?
You were talking about the podcast. Or you were talking about
No,
Kim's
I wanted
sex
to
tape.
get
I
into
don't know,
this
right?
Kardashian thing. And she was pretty young when she got married early on, right? Was she?
She was in her 30s. I mean, that was only
the
a
first
few
time?
years ago. Yeah, and if you recall, she was already very, very involved with Kanye as she was trying to extricate herself from that marriage. I think
Humphreys or something was his name.
Chris Humphreys. He was a basketball player. He may still be. I don't know.
Right. So Chris called you? The mom is still running things? She's really running that whole deal?
Well, okay, I don't know. I think Kim called me. But Chris is a momager, and she does look out for all of her kids. And we represented Chris years ago when she and Robert Kardashian got divorced. And then, we've always kind of maintained a relationship. The girls went to Beverly, even though they're younger than I am. So it's, it's just kind of...
So you just grew up here in L.A. You guys know everybody. You're locals.
Yes.
There are a lot of locals here in Sacramento. Isn't it odd when you see the locals? We recently saw the locals of Malibu after these Malibu fires, and everybody was kicked out, and you got to see the little skeleton of support there that makes up Malibu. And
my
then it would
mom
disappear
and her
again.
husband live in Malibu, so they were with me up on Doheny for about a week and a half. We have a place in the Point Doom trailer park. My kids and I do. And
Did yours burn?
Oh, that's right.
Mine didn't burn. We were up there Sunday, but it's pretty devastating. And Malibu proper, where my parents live, seems to have been fine. When you get further north, it really was.
Well, Zuckerman lost his house at Point Doom.
I'm sorry. Are you on Point Doom?
I'm on Doom.
His same situation as you.
We drove down there on Sunday. It's nuts.
It's devastating.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
it's Doom Doheny, and now he's holed up in Doheny with his family. They're all holed up there.
It's funny, when I moved here at 17, everyone I met at SC would talk to everyone else. Who did you go to Beverly? Did you go to Uni? Did you go to Samo?
What does that mean?
And
is that Beverly Hills High?
Yeah, the high schools, and I felt like
High.
such a fish out of water. Like these guys had such a leg up from a schmucky little kid coming out from Long Island.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, they do.
They do.
They do. Look at her.
All right, I know.
Yeah, come on.
And look how I had
She's
it.
a person of
By the way,
privilege.
I was at NYU. I was going through the same thing there.
You were at the end of the Darwinian line of evolution. I was an amoeba crawling out of the slime when I got here.
That's right.
Yeah.
I noticed a car coming in, and I correctly assumed it was yours. A gray metallic Porsche 911S.
Right, which I've been driving that same car in
That is your
different
car.
incarnations. That's my car because since you lived on Doheny, this is my fourth one. I'm
Yeah,
so
you didn't
boring.
know this, Zuckerman? She's a 911 girl.
I am indeed.
Now, you don't say the same car. You mean the same model car. So
the
what?
same model,
so
but again, this is a 17 that it's an 18 that I'm in now. 'cause
Right.
I
So
got
when
it early.
what's your replacement schedule?
2
or
to 3
3
years. 2 to 3. It depends if they change the body style.
Really? You
so
get
my
hung
guy
up on
calls
that
me and
stuff.
says, "Oh, we gotta."
My guy.
And
Yeah, who's your guy?
I got
Wait,
a guy.
who's
I got
your
a
guy?
guy.
Who's your guy? Was he from a dealership? As I recall, you were buying your Porsches from downtown L.A. No.
He must have just found me that one.
Okay.
But I take all of my Porsches. It's going on Friday to Eric Padino at
Eric Patino.
Eric Patino.
I have
Come
called
on.
him
The
before from the
magic
side of the
midget.
road
He's the
on
guy.
his cell phone. He comes and gets me. He's the nicest person. I was talking to him last
Will
night.
you look at this right here?
Right. Mine just
in
says,
the break we
mine just
just
says
took.
Eric Porsche.
Eric Patino. I was in our last break. I was texting him because we just took our GT3 Touring in to get the brakes fixed, and he was checking in on
Yeah,
us.
he's-
So Eric is at Beverly Hills Porsche.
He's
He's
at
a great
Beverly
guy.
Hills.
And he is the man.
Hi, Eric.
Yes.
He's so lovely, and he was reminding me that my first Porsche that I actually purchased, it wasn't a lease. It was when I was probably 34 years old. I had arrived. I was getting a Porsche. I bought it from a man that lived in the flats of Beverly Hills. It was barely driven, had very few miles on it. I was so excited. I bought this Porsche, And about a year after, David Weber and I got pregnant with Luke. So there I am, probably about 9 months pregnant, and I'm leaving Century City to drive home, and I turn onto Century Park East, and some asshole comes out and makes a left turn where she's not supposed to in her Cherokee and basically just totals the car. And I'm hugely pregnant. Thank God the airbag didn't go off. But I got out. David came and got me. We brought this total car. I had to go to the hospital, and they put me on one of those baby monitors to see. And I'm like, I got to go. I have court tomorrow. I can't stay here. I'm out of here. And Luke was born about a month later, perfectly healthy, perfectly perfect. But Eric was reminding me, remember when that guy totaled your Porsche?
Unbelievable. And your son Luke.
And my son's fine. I mean,
was in a Porsche accident before he was even born.
Yes,
He's cool.
Yes, he
Has
was.
the statute of limitations expired? Let's make some money here, Laura. We've got 2 years from his 18th birthday.
So horrible. And David's a big guy. I've never seen David cry before, and he was crying because he was so freaked out. But
and David is at the time your boyfriend.
Right. I have 2 kids. I wasn't married to either of their dads. And yes.
An interesting fact about you that I read is you don't have any sort of a parenting plan with them that's on paper, right?
Nothing is written.
Nothing is written down, and again you share in common with this guy these lawyers who you give good advice,
but
you don't ever put
cobbler's shoeless children.
Yeah.
We are. That is us.
He's the same way. No,
Will Schmill.
He's got no will.
I have wills. Oh my God,
he
got
doesn't,
trust
and
like
he and I are partners on half a dozen cars.
Yeah, you'll just take them all.
Once he dies, he's like that.
Not my problem.
This is how. Circling back,
I just take them.
This is how you hide your cars. You put them all in Paul Zuckerman's name.
Right.
How? Oh yeah,
How?
We're not already doing that.
Right. Yeah. And listen, you know what? If you got a problem after I die, what am I going to do?
Yeah, what are you going to do?
What am I going to do? See you later.
In fact, the GT3 Touring, that was our scheme that we hatched because Erica never listens to the podcast. She doesn't know. But since we both have this car and both of our names on it, when our wives confront us about it, we go, no, it's his.
Right.
It's his. See? And
I'm seeing her tomorrow night at book club, right?
That's okay.
I mean, what are we going to do to
she'll
work
be
this
drinking.
out?
She'll be drinking in that moment. She's never going to remember. By the way, that car... and that story, I didn't have to worry about it because I was driving it to Jack's Little League game separately from her, and she came running over into the stands, and she goes, there is a car out there you have to see. And I go, really? She goes, come out here and look at this car. And I go, oh, my God. And then I click the key and turn it on. She goes, how did you do that? I go, that's our car.
That's so funny.
We can drive it. She loves it.
So David just got the new Tesla SUV in matte black. He picked me up yesterday because we had to go to the school for a parent-teacher conference. And so he pulls into the carriage area of my buildings and then spends about 5 minutes trying to figure out how to open the door because it lays flat. It was one of my favorite moments of our entire relationship because he doesn't know how to work this car yet.
No, when I hear the doors are tough.
But it's pretty. It's really
they're
pretty.
Beautiful.
The windshield goes all the way back above your head. There's no mirror, though. It's a lipstick issue for me, but it is a really pretty car.
They're cool. But look, you're a gearhead. You're a 911 at some point there probably is going to be a plug-in hybrid 911 for you to drive. You're not interested, right?
Why? I hate to say
it.
Good.
The carbon footprint. I mean, I really am part of that. But as far as my car, I like putting gas in my car, and I like driving my car, and I like not having to worry about stopping
take Laura
to plug
driving
in.
with us
We
out
should.
to Malibu.
And we're going to tell her, look, this guy, he likes electric cars. This is not the man for
He's
you.
Not the man for me. No, that's not. No. My boyfriend drives a Bullet, a Mustang.
So now the new guy.
Yeah. He's not the new guy. I've been with him for 5 years.
So he's got the Bullet Mustang.
Yes.
Wow. Well, it sounds like he's hitting the sell-by date for you. 5 years? Time to figure that one.
That's what he says.
Time to go. Yeah, figure it out, guy. Move along. Take that Mustang and hit the road.
And there's no kid with this boyfriend.
No. My 2 kids are with 2 other people, yes.
Wow. Laura Wasser, ladies and gentlemen.
I like how she lives her life.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, she could be in our club.
Yeah.
She's doing it.
I'm one of the guys.
Do women bother? Are they a little put off by you?
No.
Are you sure?
That's what she says.
That's what they tell me, that they're not put off. I have some very close girlfriends that are in much more kind of, conventional relationships, and I respect that, and I'm friends with their husbands and stuff.
But I don't even mean the relationship part. I mean, you're talking about
Cars
and 911s and boyfriends, and it sounds like you run the deal in your house.
I don't drink beer.
Beer and gambling, and you're talking about smoking
farting under the covers.
Yeah. Ernest Borgnine, he's got nothing on me.
I'm definitely a boy mom. I have 2 boys, and I can't imagine having a little girl. Like, my friends that have girls, I love their little girls, and I love when they come over and we can do their nails, and I give them clothes with their teenagers.
You have boys, right?
But I don't need a boy.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of farting and a lot of reptiles in our house. Yes.
Yeah. No, I hear that.
Nobody's driving yet, but that's coming, I know.
Yeah. Well, this has been great, Laura. If we want to catch up with Laura, we're going to see her on, or hear her on Divorce Sucks here at Podcast One. Are you happy here? Do you like doing this?
I love
Have you ever done anything like this before?
No, but I totally dig it. It's really fun. Not only are we getting the message out, but I like kind of riffing. You met Johnny, my producer.
Yeah, no, he's great.
Jeff is amazing. He's with the Podcast One family. We're having a good time. And do check us out at itsovereasy.com, please.
Yeah, overeasy.com. You're going to save some money. Do you sponsor your own podcast? Do you have Overeasy sponsor? Just throw the ads in. Just do that.
I just throw it in anyway.
Don't rely on them for the ad revenue.
No.
Just you advertise whatever you want. Just tell them, too bad, I'm going to advertise my stuff on my podcast. There's nothing you can do about it.
Okay.
Well, Laura, it's been nice catching
Thanks,
up with
guys.
you.
Nice
Nice
to meet
meeting you as well.
Zuckerman, do you have anything you want to add?
Nope.
Nothing.
I'm done.
All right. You're
Finished.
done. You can catch up with me on Instagram. That's where I have the most fun. And we'll see you next week on Spike's Car Radio. Quick before we go, 60 seconds. That's exactly how long this commercial lasts. You know what else you can do in about a minute? Get an offer with your car from TrueCar. That's right. In the amount of time it takes to floss your teeth, pet your dog, do a few sit-ups, just listen to my voice, you can get a true cash offer. Best of all, you can do it from your smartphone or at home. Just go to TrueCar and simply enter your license plate number and watch how your car's details pop up. Answer a few questions and you'll get an accurate true cash offer from local TrueCar certified dealer. It's that easy. After that, you can bring your car in and they'll check it out with you together, the two of you. You can even hug if you want. You can ask questions, get the answers you need, so there's no surprises, and simply leave your check or trade in your car for a new ride. So when you're ready to experience a new, better way to sell or trade in your car, check out TrueCar today.
Thanks for listening to Spike's Car Radio. Download new episodes every Wednesday on the Podcast One app or subscribe now at Apple Podcasts or PodcastOne.com.
Podcast One is your one-stop shop for everything TV and pop culture.
A very candid, not even supposed to be on the record conversation.
Check out any of the Collider Network podcasts like TV Talk, Movie Talk, Collider Live, and more. And for you reality TV fans, Rob Cisternino's got you covered with Rob Has a Podcast.
This is a podcast
There's no
about
substance.
nothing.
Yeah.
You literally have a podcast about nothing.
Check out the Collider Network and Rob Has a Podcast every week on Podcast One or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
Hey guys, time to get in on the action for the biggest moments in basketball with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projections, place your entry, and win up to 100 times your money. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit of up to $100. Just download the Prize Picks app and use the code GET100. That's code GET100 on Prize Picks for a first deposit match of up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more. Pick less. It's that easy.